Good morning, everybody. It's ready for 401k. Just doing a little check-in here on Torch, TRCH. From my video from last week, I just wanted to kind of do this little update on the technical side of it, leaving out the short squeeze and dividend, all that stuff going on. Because at the end of the day, we do have to realize that a lot of systems are just trading off of technicals with no human engagement behind it. So with that, let's look at it. Last week I talked about on the daily candles, we were kind of getting a setup to align with the Hall moving average, which was perfect. It's what we wanted to see to continue an upwards momentum and trajectory. But what I wanted to point out was this. Everything that's been going on these past couple days, we're seeing these kind of sell-off taking place. A lot of people are kind of make comments about it short selling and this and that. I really just think that what we're dealing with is systems in place that aren't paying any attention to the dividends or the distribution of funds for the merger. They're just pure technical. A lot of the algorithms that are trading on the market, they use the Hall moving average in their setup, combined with stuff like the VWAP and the TWAP. And so, looking at a weekly chart, the retracement is where I actually founded my retracement off of, was the weekly chart. And you can see that 60% retracement is at 511 on the weekly. We hit a low of 512 today. So it bounced back up. It could very well be that it's the 50% principle, right? You guys heard me talk about this before. On a run greater than 30% up, you expect a retracement of anywhere between 50 to 63%. And it's pretty on the money, especially from the perspective of, just a 60% interval. There is a trend as well, dating back to 2019, that ran through last week at the high. And it actually touched on February 16th was the other date for that week. So we can see that trend. There's even a further trend back here, which this is back in 2015, that has crossed over last week as well. So it would have been this kind of would have been a breakout point to determine direction of trend. So we just have to see. Unfortunately, this will take more weeks to play out to see what's going on. It doesn't mean that this week it won't start going back up, because the retracement did occur. It's already confirmed and touched. It does mean that there is room to now move up. We wouldn't want it to break down much below this point, though. That's kind of what we're looking at. So 511, 512, that's good. Maybe 510, okay. But once that starts occurring on the bigger picture, you'll probably see more of a collapse. You can see with the RSI as well. This is another thing to pay attention to, is that divergences. So sentiment's going down, price going up. So there's not much transactional dealing going on in the market. Not many, not much value in the buying behind it, right? So at that point, it turns into like a pump and dump. That's an over kind of statement to this, but that's just to get the sense of what's going on. There's lower sentiment, it's going down. We'll continue to see this go down over the weeks, and just see what price does. A lot of times price can just go sideways. We'd prefer it to just go sideways during this time, and not necessarily go up while sentiment's going down, because then when you get down to these lower segments below 50, it's more of a bearish market when it can't break back above 50. And it just rattles around the bottom side of the RSI channel. So anyways, looking here on the daily, Let's see here. We got, so again, you can see bounce off of the 60 retracement. We had the gap down. I can get this trend. Let's just hide this trend real quick. Oh, wrong trend. Just kidding. There we go. That's right. Both of them can be hidden. All right. So let's check it out. So we can see that yesterday, we price closed around the 40 retracement, but then we had an ugly gap down, right? So, the whole moving average, you can see where it plays in. Yesterday, it did bounce off of it, which would have been good. Continue that. Price dropping down so much below the whole moving average, it's gonna recoil back. So again, this is another good indicator or indication of where the price is going to move to. Or Wednesday, so we still have 2 more days left, Thursday, Friday. So this could start curling slightly. I would hope that price then starts to try to catch up to it, right? In this situation where you do have a lot of people holding out for the dividend and the distribution of funds, excess funds, there should be more, how do I say it? Less share transactions taking place on selling side, people wanting to offload and get rid of it. So, in these situations, we tend to see the price go against fundamentals and technical indicators, where in these situations, right, the whole moving average is a little gapped away on the weekly chart from where the price is. There's a lot of volume behind this, so we should start seeing a pretty good stretching and extension of the whole moving average actually pulling up. As more buyers come into the market this week, we'll start to see the blue line of the whole moving average pull up more to this point to try to get more in touch with the price, and then it'll allow it more movement. So let's see kind of briefly intraday. As we can see here, again, the price is overextended from the whole moving average. If we start getting more buying pressure going on in the next hour or so, this is a 30-minute chart, we'll start to see the price kind of, let's get this magnet off here. Start to see this price kind of roll out. If we can get priced, the whole moving average to roll out, if we can start to get priced to come back up and join with it. Anyways, I know this is kind of more broad picture. I'm not going into like the candlestick formations or technical indicators, talking about bull flags. This is mainly just the retracement and the historic trend and how it plays out. I mean, we can see right now on the 30-minute RSI is way trenched out. This is a realm where we want to see it snap and recoil out, and not rattle around in the lower section. And real quick, I talked about this before with layers of the cake, right? Each of the time frames, they're going to lead into the bigger picture. When you start going down to the lower time frames, it's kind of the Sherlock Holmes work that you can do to get a better idea of what's going to happen. But you mainly want to be focusing on the weekly and the daily charts, the bigger picture, because we can react very easily on a daily chart. But when you're more comfortable and confident in the bigger time frames, you kind of know, like, okay, I don't need to react here. There's a bigger picture. I could miss an opportunity, so you just stay. So let's just watch it, see what happens, guys. I always say this: you got to hedge wisely. You gotta invest wisely. Know your limits and your stop loss. Know the investing style. A lot of investors on these downtrends, they buy. They see these opportunities as buying opportunities. If you're somebody who's not as seasoned and you just don't feel comfortable, listen to your gut feeling. If you've made money, you have profits, there's nothing wrong with that. My brother reminded me the other day is that prior to the COVID, the pandemic, 10% a year was good. You're performing pretty well, right? We've become accustomed to 10% in 30 minutes, and so you got to think to yourself, if you're up 5% for the day, that is nothing to be upset about. So just stay safe. Don't lose it. Don't lose your money. Protect your profits. There's always bigger plays out there. But in the meantime, nothing necessarily looking wrong with Torch on the fundamental or the technical side. It's just this was kind of destined to happen. We were going to see a retracement, and this is kind of playing out. And if we see it break below that 511 point, 510, it may be time to kind of cut the losses if you have them, or take your profits off the table and see where it bottoms out. We'll go from there. All right, everybody. I will catch you all on the next one. And as always, comments, suggestions, things that I missed, let me know. I'm very receptive. I like to learn something if I didn't know it. And we'll catch you on the next one.